You say you can't get a break? Man, forget that victim mentality. You ain't supposed to be given a break. Life doesn't hand out breaks like candy. You earn them. Every single one of us is getting tested. And yeah, your test ain't gonna look like mine, but make no mistake, you're getting tested too. And how you handle that test, that shit determines everything. You wanna succeed? You grind. You wanna fail? Quit. It's that simple. Look, I'll never be in the Olympics. I'll never be some pro athlete. I fail at more things than I succeed in. But guess what? I fucking grind. Every day, every damn minute. Most days I don't want to do half the shit I do. But I show up. I grind. And one day when you see me in some dark alley at 1 a.m., running my ass off, know one thing. I'm out there fucking grinding. That's what separates winners from losers. That's what I call the 40% rule. Our mind. That shit is the enemy. It's got a tactical advantage on us. It knows our fears, knows exactly when to push the buttons that make us quit. When that doubt creeps in, when the mind says, this isn't worth it, man, let's go home, back to comfort, that's when you gotta fight hardest. That's when you gotta push through. Your mind is trying to protect you, trying to keep you safe, but it's lying to you. It's just scared. The moment you break through that barrier, when you start smashing that governor you put on yourself, that's when you realize you're in control. You're the fucking driver. You got to rewire that bitch and say, no, we're good. This hurts, but we're good. Now, listen, man, this message ain't for the weak. Some of you are so soft, you just being around someone tough makes you crumble. But here's the truth. Life ain't going to serve you shit on a silver platter. You don't like the way I show you effort. Too fucking bad. Effort looks ugly. It hurts. Stay hard. You see, once you transform, once you stop running from yourself, because make no mistake, I'm still facing my demons daily, you realize it's just a constant battle. But when you stop hiding and start confronting it head on, that's when your real journey begins. You'll get to a point where you can stand up in front of anyone and say, here's my mess. Here's my story. The good, the bad, the fucking ugly. And that's where real strength comes from. Stay hard, motherfuckers. Here's the thing, you don't need those little wins to keep you going anymore. That's just for beginners. Once you figure out your purpose, you realize all the pain, all the struggle, it's just part of the damn process. At first, you rely on all these tactics to push through because you don't know what the hell you're doing yet. But once you realize you're in a race of one you against you, everything changes. It's your purpose, not someone else's. You ain't running the race, you're running your own. And when you get that, you stop living for those small ass victories. It becomes about pushing forward day in and day out because that's what you're fucking here to do. When I finished that first 100-mile race around a 1-mile track, 1 mile over and over for 100 fucking miles, and I hadn't even prepared for it, man, it was the most painful thing I've ever done. I'll never forget it. My body was broken, destroyed, but I found something out there. In that pain, I found peace. I got done, and my wife pulls the car up, and I can barely fucking move. She gets me inside, and I'm laying in the tub, body shaking uncontrollably like I'm in the middle of a damn earthquake. I was broken completely. And let me tell you something crazy, I loved it. Laying in that tub, feeling my body torn to shit. It was the most beautiful moment of my life. That pain, it wasn't just pain. It was confirmation proof that I'd just gone through a crucible that most people can't even imagine. I tapped into a level of myself I didn't even know existed. At mile 70, I pissed all over myself. I had 30 miles to go, and I was damn near dead. But I kept going. And in those last 31 miles, I found out more about myself than I had in my entire fucking life. The doubts, the fear, the pain that was attacking me at light speed. But I kept moving forward. And when I finished, when I laid in that tub, I knew something. I had just unlocked a whole new world. A part of my mind that most people will never reach. And here's the thing, you can't even describe that feeling to someone who's never been there. It's not about winning or being the best at something like pull-ups or marathons. I don't give a fuck about that. Being hard is about overcoming whatever the hell is in front of you. It's about being able to look adversity in the face and say, fuck you, I'm going through. It's not about walking around with your shirt off like some ego-driven jackass. The process ain't about looking good. It's about building a mindset that makes you unstoppable. That's the real shit. That's what it means to be hard. You want to be great. You want to be fucking unbreakable? You better learn to love the pain, because that's where the magic happens. Here's the truth, man, I was weak. My mind was soft as hell. I wasn't doing all that physical shit just to get ripped or to look tough. No, I was doing it to build my mind. Every time I suffered physically, my mind was getting stronger. I was training it to take all the fucking judgment, all the shit people were throwing at me real and imagined. Yes, sometimes you make that shit up in your own head, but you still got to be able to handle it. I wanted to be bulletproof, not just physically, but mentally. I wanted people to look at me and think, this motherfucker is untouchable. That's why I called my book Can't Hurt Me. Because that's the mantra I want everyone to live by. You take that mindset, you grind every day, callous your mind to all the bullshit life throws at you soon enough. Can't hurt Maine isn't just a slogan. It's a fucking way of life. I've always been good at creating enemies, good at finding something or someone to go against. If someone ever tells me I can't do something, I'll show you real fucking quick that I'm gonna do it. And I don't need to shove it in your face. I'll go run across the damn world. And when you see it on the news, you'll be like, how the hell did he do that? That's how I want to show people I'm here, I'm fucking here. Now, there were months where all I felt was failure, depression, and shit getting worse. But in those months, I lived a lifetime. I realized if I could flip those insecurities, flip that self-doubt and failure, I could use that shit as power. I started seeing that power. The more I embraced the suck, the more I realized that all those things that made me feel like nothing, they were fuel. I used to see everyone around me as being way ahead of me. I was in the gutter, and they were at the top. But then I thought, if I can claw my way up from the bottom, I'll fucking catch these guys. And sure enough, I started passing the ones from Harvard, MIT, the ones from rich families. They had all the advantages and I had nothing, but I kept flipping that shit, turning it into fuel. And before I knew it, I was catching up. Every single day I wake up, I'm at war with myself. That's the real battle. People ask, why do you say that? Because when you wake up, there are things you can control. You can make your fucking bed, you can clean your space, you can get up without hitting snooze. All that shit matters. It sets the tone. You win those little battles, and you start to win the bigger ones. That's been said a million times, but it's the truth. Control what you can control, and the rest will fall into place. Here's why you don't hit the snooze button. Because when you do, you wake up already losing. You're starting the day off failing, plain and simple. What happens next? You don't make your bed. You skip the details. Maybe you don't get your clothes right. Maybe you don't take care of yourself the way you should. You've already let yourself slip. And the day hasn't even started yet. Fuck, man. Man, remember that job interview you had? The one you prepped for? The night before, hell, even weeks before you were on your game. You had your shit laid out, oatmeal bowl, coffee cup, clothes pressed and ready. You rehearsed in your head. You were ready to go to war with yourself to show that interviewer your best self. And guess what? You won. You fucking nailed it. Got the job. But fast forward a few months, you're in the job now, you're comfortable. That version of you that got the job, gone. You're hitting the snooze, not laying out your clothes, not showing up on time with that same fire. You still have the job, but you're not the same person who fought for it. That interview version of you is gone. Winning the battle in the morning is about setting the tone for the day. Man, you own that shit before you even leave the house. Why? Because the minute you step outside, the world's coming for you. And if you start your day by grabbing your phone first thing, looking at bad news, getting distracted, you've already lost. You didn't make your bed, you didn't hit the gym, and now your day's out of your control from the jump. But if you win that first battle in the morning, then you've already got a victory under your belt, man. No matter what the day throws at you, whether you lose your job, take a bad hit, you're starting from a place of strength. You're going into battle having already won something. You've taken control. On the flip side, you hit snooze, you go out into the world, you're already fucking defeated. You're behind, and everything feels harder because you started from a place of weakness. But if you win that first battle, you've got momentum. You've got to win. And that makes you stronger when the hits come. That's the mindset you need to carry with you every damn day. It's about finding more in yourself, but you've got to be willing to go deep. If you're not ready to dive into that darkness, to face the shit inside you, you're never going to find what you're truly capable of. You can live on the surface. Sure, most people do, but you're never going to be great that way. Look, man, if there's an end to this world and you get to a place where there's a judgment waiting for you, you're going to see a chart. And that chart's not about what you did. It's about who the fuck you should have been. Imagine that you're standing there looking at all the potential you pissed away. You're thinking, damn, I could have lived a better life, a harder life, if I just pushed myself a little more. If I just suffered a little more. I had so much more in me. But fear, staying in your comfort zone, the fucking 40% rule held you back. You stayed here when you should have been way up here, but you were too damn afraid to push it. Man, for me, I create a world for myself that might not exist for you, but to me it's real. Every day, I'm overpowering my own mind, pushing past what I thought was possible. You gotta find tools to do that. That's one of my tools. I believe in doing something that sucks every single day. I don't care what it is, run, swim, flip a damn tire for a mile. I don't even like flipping tires, but you know what? Doing something that sucks every day will build your mind. It's how you figure out what you're really made of. The question you should be asking yourself every single day is, what am I capable of? You won't find the answer doing the same comfortable shit you've been doing. You've got to step into discomfort and see what's on the other side of that pain. See, I'm all about seeing the mind for what it is. You have to do the things you don't want to do, the things that hurt, the things that make you honest with yourself. That's where I had to go back into the nasty shit of my past. I was the world's best liar, but I had to face myself, own my past. And that's what most of you are running from. You won't get anywhere until you do that. Here's the truth, man. A lot of the pain you carry, it might not even be your fault. Maybe it came from your parents. Maybe you were abused, bullied, dealt with addiction. It doesn't matter. That shit is yours now. No one's coming to save your ass. No one's going to come and fix it for you. It's on you to find the courage to face it, to own that shit, and use it as fuel to become something more. That's why I talk so much about the past. You've got to stop worrying about what people think of you. Stop fearing judgment. Stop giving a damn about what people will say once they know your real story. Fuck all that. Own who you are and stop running from it. Here's the thing, man. If you've got a true dog mentality, you never get full. It's never enough. I got a dog at home, and you know what? That fucking dog is never satisfied. He's always hungry. That's the mentality you need, never being satisfied, never having a finish line, always wanting more. That's what it takes to stay hard. You made it to the NFL? Fuck that. It's not enough. You ran a 5K? Run a damn 10K. Still not enough. You became a doctor? Be the best damn doctor out there? You lost 50 pounds? Good. Now go do something with it. Guess what? It's 109 degrees outside. Get your ass out there anyway. It's still not enough. That's the mentality you need to stay hard. At mile 81, something clicked inside me that I can't even fully explain. It was like my mind, body, spirit, and soul all aligned. Everything connected. And at that moment, I knew I wasn't going to quit. I wasn't even in a race anymore. There were no crowds, no trophy at the end, no fanfare. It was just me versus me, and the weak-ass version of myself was already dead, buried, and gone. I didn't give a damn about anything but finishing. I started digging into these dark places, and all of a sudden I was pulling out light. I went deeper and deeper, and I ran those next 20 miles. Yeah, you heard me, ran. After 81 miles of walking, I ran at a 10.30 pace for those last 20 miles. I wasn't even human at that point, just a machine grinding it out. Look, man, 16 years ago, I was graduating Navy SEAL training, something I once thought was fucking impossible. I walked into that recruiter's office at 300 pounds with zero self-esteem, trying to figure out if I had anything in me. I told myself if I could graduate SEAL training, maybe I could start building something inside. But first, I had to lose 100 pounds. So I went out the next day, thinking I was gonna run 4 miles as fast as I could to start shedding the weight. You know how far I got? A quarter of a mile before I had to walk my ass back home. That was rock bottom. Those insecurities were like a pack of wolves, always circling, waiting for me to show any weakness. Every time life got hard, those insecurities came right back, eating away at me, fucking with my head. I had to do a live autopsy on myself, figure out where that fear came from and kill it. I had to stop letting it control me. And here's the thing, it's hard for me to respect people who achieve something and then just coast. They sit back and celebrate for years, wondering why they don't have that drive anymore. They wonder, why am I not achieving more? It's because once you get that taste of success, most people stop pushing. They lose that hunger. But if you want to keep leveling up, you can't celebrate too long. You've got to keep grinding. The job ain't ever done if you don't build a routine of suffering. And I'm not talking about going out and killing yourself every damn day, but pushing yourself to be uncomfortable. You'll never stay hungry. That's the thing, man. If you live in your victories too long saying, I'm gonna push for 30 days or run this marathon and then you're done, It's over. You did one marathon, big fucking deal. That's why it leaves you, it slips away because you didn't set up the next challenge. You got to keep putting obstacles in your way. Obstacles make you grow. Friction, man, that's where growth happens. No friction, no growth. When you sit alone in the dark, thinking about where you came from, that's when the truth hits. You're like, damn, man, my mom was this way. My stepdad got murdered. I couldn't even read and write like the other kids. Your soul's dirty because you've lied to everyone. You cheated. You feel broken. God damn. Then you set a goal. You think about how you'll feel when you reach it. Not from a cushy spot, not from a life where everything was handed to you, but from hell, from the bottom. A lot of people start with a good foundation. Not you. You start with nothing. No legs, no shot. You've got to grow those legs just to start walking, then crawling, then running. And then when you pass those who had everything handed to them, that's real power. I had to take all the shit that made me weak, that made me feel like a piece of garbage, and flip it. I had to say, wait a second, this darkness, it's exactly what I need. You got to change how you look at your situation. Your darkness is your fuel. Here's something I invented back in the day. When you have nothing left to pull from, no motivation, no inspiration, I figured out how to find strength in every molecule around me. I can be sitting in an empty room, no noise, no hype, and still find the strength to keep going. That's when I came up with taking souls when everyone around you is fucked up, weak, broken, barely hanging on. I'm like, all right, it's time to make a statement. You look around, everyone's just as wrecked as you are, maybe worse. That's when I dig deep and say, this is where your life ends and mine begins, you're done. But I'm still going. That's taking souls. Here's the thing, I pull strength from the looks on their faces, from their weakness, from their pain. I remember where I came from, rock bottom. I was nothing. But now I'm standing among people who think they're tough, who think they're special. And I'm gonna make them feel common as fuck. I see their suffering, their doubt, their, oh, this sucks, and I flip that into fuel. When they're about to fold, I'm like, oh, poor you, your little poopy pants, feeling sorry for yourself. That's when I dig deeper. So let's say we're out there running in the sand. Everybody's gassed. I just surge, I push harder, faster. And they're left thinking, how the hell is he doing this? That look on their faces, that disbelief. That's what gives me even more fuel. It's a chain reaction, scene and break makes me push even harder for longer. Energy is everywhere, man, but most people are too soft to tap into it. That voice in their head, pain, suffering, discomfort is screaming so loud that they can't hear anything else. All they hear is quit. We're done. Let's stop. But the real test is having that calm in the storm, that moment when you silence all that noise and say, hold up, there's more here. Don't spaz the fuck out. Hang on, in that calm, you find strength. You see it's there waiting for you to grab it. But most people never get there. Man, mediocrity is everywhere right now. People surround themselves with easy shit, soft shit. You walk into a room with 10 mediocre people, and if you're the best of the mediocre, you start thinking you're great. You trick yourself into believing that because you're the best of the weak, you've made it. That's bullshit. People don't like being around the uncommon, someone who wakes up at 3:30 a.m. and says, let's go run. That shit makes them uncomfortable. They don't want that challenge. They want the guy who says, hey man, you don't feel good today? No worries, take the day off. Let's grab some pizza, watch the game. We love that feeling because it feeds our weakness. It makes us feel okay about staying soft. But the truth is, we don't need that. We don't need people securing our weakness, making us feel better about being average. We need to chase the hard stuff. We need to be uncomfortable. That's where growth happens. And if you're not willing to be the uncommon among the common, you'll stay stuck in the mediocrity of life. People always ask me, how the hell do you stay hungry all the time? You want to know why? It's because when I accomplish something, I don't sit back and get soft like most people. A lot of guys, they graduate buds, they hit a big goal, and then they get comfortable. And then they wonder, why am I getting weak? Why have I lost my edge? It's because once they hit the top of the mountain, they think they're good. That's when the fall starts, man. They don't realize you got to build another fucking mountain. You can't sit at the top because that's where mediocrity lives. So many people have this badass resume, but they're one-timers. They did something big once, got the cash, got the recognition, and now they're good. But guess what? You're fucking mediocre now, man. What are you doing today? Tomorrow? Next week? That's why I don't listen to the excuses. I don't give a damn if you're tired or sore. What are you doing to push yourself now? When you feel like shit, when it hurts, that's when you're learning something. Because that's the truth, man. You gain real knowledge through suffering. On the other side of suffering is a world most people never see. It's a beautiful, savage place. That's where you find yourself. Not in comfort, not sitting around feeling good about your past accomplishments, but in the grind, in the suffering. Like that 100-mile race I ran minus 24 hours of hell. But at hour 19, something clicked and I saw this other world in my mind. A world of possibilities most people don't even know exists. Here's the thing, man. Mediocrity is contagious as fuck. Walk into any room, and if people are already thinking, this ain't gonna happen, guess what? It's not. People always ask, how did you run 135 miles through Death Valley? How did you run 100 miles with no training? Because I didn't walk into it thinking I couldn't do it. I had a plan. I kept my mind open to the possibility that it could be done. Until your mind is open to that, you won't ever achieve shit. Once your mind believes, then it starts breaking things down tactically, step by step. That's why I invented this thing called taking souls. When everyone's fucked up, weak, tired, and feeling like quitting, that's when I dig deep. When they're looking around thinking, how's this guy still going? That's when I make a statement. I want them to know where their life ends and where mine begins. I pull every bit of strength from their misery. From my childhood being at the bottom, I use all that to fuel me. I'm standing among uncommon people, and I'm going to make them feel common as hell. Their weakness, their doubts, that's where I find my strength. When they're thinking, this sucks, I'm like, oh, poor you, poopy pants, I take all that energy and turn it into power. Their pain becomes my fuel. Here's the thing, man, when I'm out there, let's say we're in the sand, running hard, and I decide to do a surge push to pace out of nowhere. Everyone's thinking, how the fuck is he doing this? I see that look in their eyes, that look of disbelief, like I'm something special. And you know what? That shit feeds me. It drives me harder, faster, further. I take their doubt, their shock, and I use it. I turn it into fuel. Energy is fucking everywhere. But here's the thing, man, most people can't see it. You know why? Because the voice in their head, that pain, that suffering, that discomfort is screaming so damn loud they can't think straight. All they hear is, I don't want to do this. This sucks. Let's quit. That voice wants to spaz out, wants you to fucking quit. But the real strength, that comes when you calm the fuck down and you tell yourself, hang on, hold up, there's something here. In that calm, you find the strength you didn't even know existed. We don't want the dude who pushes us, who exposes our weaknesses. No, we want the guy who says, hey man, you're tired? No problem, take the day off. Let's grab a pizza and chill. We love that shit because it makes us feel good about staying soft. That's the mediocrity of life. We want to be the best among average people. When you push through suffering, there's a whole other world on the other side. I found it in that 100-mile race I did. But here's the kicker. The only way to find that version of yourself is by embracing the suffering. Most people will never see it because they're stuck in mediocrity, stuck in their own mental block. People ask me, how the hell did you run 135 miles through Death Valley? How did you run 100 miles with no training? Because I didn't walk into it with a fucking defeated mindset. I didn't tell myself I can't do this. I went in with a plan, with an open mind. Until your mind believes you can do it, you'll never do it. Once your mind believes, you'll start breaking things down step by step. But until you open your mind to the possibility, you're already fucking beat. That's the truth, man. You want to be the best? You better fucking understand that the best ain't about trophies or that number one spot. The best is leaving every damn thing you got out there. It's not about beating someone else's ass. It's about taking on the one motherfucker that's always standing in your way. You. I ain't out here trying to be the best for applause or some shallow ass validation. I'm chasing my own damn shadow. And every day I'm making sure I'm better than the version of me that woke up yesterday. I attack myself. I'm my worst enemy and my best weapon. You see that accountability mirror? That came to me in high school. I was lost as fuck back then, trying to impress everybody else cause nobody liked me. I morphed into whatever the fuck people wanted me to be. Talk this way for this crowd, act that way for another. Straight up pathetic. And for what? To be accepted by some average ass motherfuckers? Nah, that ain't me no more. Here's the thing, man. You stand in front of that mirror, and you can't bullshit yourself. Every day I'd look at myself, shaving my head, thinking about all the fucking lies I told to fit in with these so-called normal people. Normal? Fuck that. I was living a lie just to get a nod from people who didn't even matter. How fucking weak is that? So that mirror, man, it stared right back at me like, you pathetic piece of shit. How does it feel to live like this every day? And that's when I started holding myself accountable. Every fucking day I'd ask myself, did I attack today? Did I crush yesterday? If not, I'd write that shit down. I ain't letting myself off the hook until I fix what's broken. Senior year hit, and it was a whole new game. I had my list. I knew what made me tick and what was holding me back. And the truth, you can't change a damn thing until you look yourself in the mirror and accept that you're fucked up. Most people walk around like, I'm good. No, motherfucker, you ain't. You gotta own that shit before you can fix it. Acceptance is the only way to start the journey. No excuses, no bullshit. Just real talk and hard work. Most people never even get off the fucking starting block. You know why? Because they're living a fake ass life, pretending they're already where they want to be, but they ain't. They haven't fixed their shit yet. They got all this baggage and bullshit weighing them down, and until you clean that up, you ain't starting no real journey. That's why I tell folks to make that damn list. Own your problems, fix that shit first. And then your journey can begin. Cause when you don't give a fuck about how people are judging you, that's when you're truly free. But as long as you care about what other people think, you're stuck in the mud. No momentum, no forward movement, nothing. You're just gonna stay right there like a fucking hamster on a wheel. First time I hit Hell Week, man, I was still doubting myself. These guys I was up against, a lot of EM came from the Naval Academy, had good ass families, better upbringings than me. Fuck, I had to claw my way just to get into the damn Navy, let alone go for being a SEAL. So yeah, I lost the weight, built up some self-esteem, but here I am surrounded by the most uncommon of the uncommon. And I'm thinking, holy shit, I'm really here. I fucking belong here, but here's where the mind screws with you. When shit got tough, my mind started whispering that same old bullshit. You're a fraud, you've been lying your whole life. Look where you came from, you can barely read. For fuck's sake, anytime things got hard, my mind would scream, you're not good enough. Just quit. My eyes were seeing that I was there, but my mind wasn't connecting the dots. And that's when I realized something. We're building bigger, stronger, faster quitters out here. Why? Because no one's putting in the fucking work on the most powerful weapon they got, their mind. Doesn't matter if it's physical pain or mental pain, we all start at zero. Pain is the great equalizer. What people don't get is this. If you don't go back and face that shit, you'll never level up. We all got something that eats at us. Every single person in this world has insecurities, family shit, childhood trauma, relationship issues, whatever. And when you're in physical pain, you might not be consciously thinking about it, but your mind is. It's digging up all that unresolved shit. You got to confront it head on, or it's always going to haunt you when things get hard. All these fucking dungeons we create in our heads, all these trap doors life throws at us. The reason most people quit is simple, they ain't got the mental fucking tools to push through to the other side. That's the truth, man. My whole point is, you got to ask yourself why the hell you're doing this in the first place. If you ain't got a strong ass reason, you're gonna crumble. It's easy as shit to sit in your cozy ass living room watching Navy SEALs on Discovery Channel with the heat set to 72 degrees, sipping on your damn lemonade and saying, I can do that, you're fucking comfortable. But the second you step out into the real world, 40-degree water, freezing your ass off like in my third Hell Week, people start dropping. We even had a guy die. That's when it hits you. Do you really want this shit? Cause if you don't, if you ain't ready to face every fucking demon in your head, you're gonna quit the moment shit gets real. Your mind is gonna fuck with you. It's gonna throw question after question. How the fuck can you keep going? How do you take one more step, and if you don't have those answers, you're done? I can't give you those answers. You gotta know why the fuck are you out here? For me, during SEAL training, I was willing to fucking die. I'd already accepted that. So every time those negative questions popped up, I had my answer. I was all in, no turning back. But those who don't have that deep, unshakable answer, they're the ones who quit. Every single time. That BFW award I got, that Americanism award. Yeah, I got choked up, teared up, causing that moment. All the shit I'd been through, all the fucked up parts of my life, it all came rushing to the surface. It was real, man. And as I stood on that stage, I realized that the biggest trophy I ever got wasn't some fucking medal or award. It was V, It was figuring out who the hell I was. The real prize is understanding who the fuck you are and being at peace with it. It ain't about money, it ain't about fame, it sure as hell ain't about people's approval. It's about owning your shit, figuring out who you are, and flipping a big middle fucking jerk to anyone who judges you. That's when I knew, this is David Goggins. And getting to that point, that felt better than any damn trophy in the world. I can't fucking stop. Not for a second. I can't stop reading, can't stop going to the gym, can't stop pushing. Because the second I stop, my mind wants to shut down. That's how it's wired, man. I grew up with a quitting mind, always ready to fold. You get your ass beat enough times, your brain starts craving that soft, comfortable place where you don't have to try anymore. It's like, nah, let's chill, let's not push. Let's not fucking think, see, your mind can only handle so much shit at once. It wants to run from pain, push it aside, and be like, let's not go there. So every fucking day, I'm fighting against where my mind wants to drift. It's a battle. It's an evolution, man. I ain't ever arrived. I'm always in the grind. Right now, I'm stressing the fuck out. I'm in the gym for hours every day, reinventing the wheel. I'm like, shit, I've been through Navy SEAL training. I ran over 7,000 miles in 1 year, broke records with pull-ups. But now my mind is so damn strong, my body's got to catch up. That's where I'm at. Constantly testing myself, seeing what new levels I can hit. Reinventing the fucking wheel every day, never satisfied. Always hungry. Man, I have a million fucking conversations in my head because every day I want to quit. That's real talk. But here's the thing, I figured this shit out. I was so damn scared of myself, of what I could or couldn't do, that I had to face it head on. I became a master of my own mind. And when you're scared of something, you gotta fucking master it. That's how you start to overcome it, no other way around it. So every time I hit that point where I want to tap out, my mind starts playing tricks. It whispers, let's go home, take a warm shower, get some food, this ain't for you. This is their fault. And if you can't answer back, if you don't have a response to every one of those excuses, you're gonna quit right then and there. When I was running those 100-mile, 200-mile races or breaking pull-up records, 2,000 pull-ups with my hands torn open, my mind would creep in. It'd say, look, man, we've done enough. You've proven yourself, you're good. But if I didn't have the answer, the why to push through, I would have quit every single time. You have to be able to clap back at your mind with real answers. And that brings me to self-talk. People love to preach about mental toughness and how self-talk can fix everything. But here's the thing, man, it don't mean shit if you haven't suffered first. You can't just throw out some positive affirmations and think it'll stick. That self-talk only works if you put in the fucking work before your mind even starts looking for it. So when I'm standing there at 3 a.m, looking at my shoes, knowing I gotta go out and run 30 miles, and my mind screaming, you gotta find more. Goggins, I calm down. I go back into my cookie jar, those memories of all the shit I've been through, all the suffering, and that becomes my self-talk. It's real because I earned it. Most people lie to themselves with their self-talk. And that's why it don't work. You gotta have something real to back it up. We live in this world where everybody's reading self-help books, trying to figure out how to be someone else. But what we don't do is look inside. We're writing a book every day with our own lives, but no one's reading that damn book. So here's my challenge to anyone listening. You gotta look inside yourself and figure out what the hell you really want. What are you truly passionate about? I get tired of people just fucking talking. Right now, some of why y'all might think Goggins is just running his mouth, but you don't know me. When I speak from passion, from experience, from suffering. That's the only way you're ever gonna grow. You have to suffer to evolve, man. Some people will get it, some won't. But you gotta see what your journey is before you can even start it. A lot of folks live to be 100, got good lives, kids in college, all that. But somewhere along the way, they hit a point where they had a choice to go left, the easy route, or right, the hard fucking route. Most take the easy road, and yeah, they had a good life. But the better life was down that harder path. And yeah, it might come with 20 years of pain and suffering. But the sad truth is, most of us die never truly starting our real journey. Don't be that person, man. Listen, man, here's the thing for any young person out there, you gotta start your journey. No fucking way around it. It's gonna suck, but trust me, if you push through, you'll come out the other side. And one day you'll be coasting. That's the price, that's the process, man. The cookie jar. This jar is filled with all the failures I've been through. Every time life kicked my ass and I had to go back, grind, and finally succeed. Every fucking moment that tested me, that humbled me, is in that jar. Because here's the thing, even the hardest motherfuckers forget how hard they really are when shit hits the fan. That's what suffering does. It makes you forget who you are. But suffering, man, that's just a test. That's all it is. Life's true test. So this cookie jar travels with me in my brain. Anytime life's got me down, when I'm feeling sorry for myself, when I catch myself in that woe is me bullshit, I take a second. Just one fucking second. I step outside my head, reach into that cookie jar, and pull out a memory. You did 3 hell weeks and finished 2. I put that shit back in the jar and I remind myself exactly who the fuck I am. I'm not that scared little kid anymore. I'm a fucking savage. And when I'm running, when I'm on that track, suffering like a motherfucker, here's what I do. I tap into self-talk and visualization, 2 keys to survival. I'm 19 miles deep, cramping, peeing blood. And in that moment, I told myself I was indestructible. I visualized myself unstoppable. And I believed it with every ounce of my being. Why? Because in that chair, with everything in me breaking down, I thought, who else would still be out here right now? Only you, motherfucker. You got to be the hardest person alive. Was that true? Hell yeah, I believed it in that moment. And that's what dragged my ass to the finish line. I took all the shit my mind was throwing at me, go to the hospital, quit. You've done enough. And I flipped it. I said, who else even had the balls to get in this chair? You did. Who else would tape up stress fractures and keep going? You did. I used all that pain as motivation. Now, this is what I mean by not getting civilized. It's about keeping that savage mentality. Getting civilized, that's where people fuck up. I see these athletes retire at 38 or 39 after 20 years at the top, and they say, I'm chilling now. Then you see them a year later, and they look like they've fallen the fuck off. I'm like, what the hell happened to you, man? You were one of the greatest, and now you're just coasting? That's what happens when you let your mind say, I'm done, I'm civilized. The worst fucking thing that can happen to anyone is to become civilized. It's like signing your own death warrant. So don't ever let yourself get comfortable, man. Stay savage, stay hungry, and keep that edge sharp every day. Is that what total accountability looks like? Fuck yeah, I was the badass motherfucker to ever live, and guess what? That shit doesn't go away, man. You don't get to just tap out once you reach the top. You wake the fuck up every single day, even when you retire, because the grind never retires. You're setting the fucking standard every single day of your life. And I get it, being civilized feels fucking good, doesn't it? That comfort, that ease. But here's the thing, man, you get to the top. Maybe you retire from your job or sport, but you ain't ever coming back down to normal. You're judged now. People are watching. You want to be the guy who says, yeah, I'm out of the game, but I'll be damned if you ever see me slipping. I'll be damned if I ever stop arriving. That I've arrived mentality, that's a trap. It's that civilized bullshit sneaking in. Civilization feels good. It's easy. People fucking crave it. They want retirement, they want comfort, they need it. It's like a drug. But here's the thing I want that shit too. I ain't no different from anyone else. People love slapping that label on me. Goggins, man, you're just wired different. Nah, motherfucker, I'm just awake. I know what's coming. Even after I handle all my shit, stutter, fear, doubt, you know I'm thinking right now, I gotta wake up tomorrow and do the same fucking thing all over again, no finish line. No letting up. Hell, after this interview, I'm gonna stretch for 2.5 hours. Hate that shit. But guess what? I gotta do it. See, I once had that victim's mentality growing up, blaming the world for everything. But now, every fucking day I'm at war with myself. Because if you even think about resting, you start slipping. You don't just maintain. If you stop shooting a gun, you ain't gonna be a great shot. Pick it up a year later, you're rusty as hell. The only way to stay sharp is to work that machine constantly. And that machine, it's you. You gotta keep challenging yourself every day. I'm not some God-given talent, man. I'm not naturally gifted at shit. What got me through all that hell wasn't talent. It was the fucking dark side. I created that. My name is David Goggins. I built Goggins. He's the part of me that can handle anything you throw at him. Want to break my legs? Bring it the fuck on. Because I got a place I go, deep inside where all the pain and suffering they try to throw at me in Hell Week, I flip that shit. I own it. I reverse that pain and suffering, and I take their fucking souls. That's the mentality. You can't let up. You can't get soft. Because the moment you stop, the moment you settle for less, you lose. Stay hard, stay savage. So every fucking instructor that put me through buds, my mission was clear as day. My job, what drove me, was to make you go home that night thinking about me. After I smiled in your face, I wanted you to feel like shit worse than I did. And here's the thing, you were headed home to a nice warm bed, your wife, your kids, a hot meal. And me? I was still out there in the fucking grind, suffering for another 100 hours. But I wanted you to lay in bed, eyes wide open, thinking about me out there in that cold, miserable hell, comfortable as fuck being uncomfortable. And I wanted you to remember how much you hated it, how bad you wanted to quit, and know that I wasn't thinking any of that shit. I wasn't breaking. The dark side, I built that shit. It's my secret weapon. That's the place I go where nothing, and I mean nothing you throw at me can fucking touch me. I take all the pain, the hurt, the shit you try to use to break me, and I flip it. You think it's kryptonite? Nah, it's fucking fuel. I use it to power me up. Every negative thing you throw my way, I flip that shit into strength, into something you can't handle. And I knew, man, going into Navy SEAL training, going through that hell 3 damn times before I made it, failure was always a possibility. But you know what failure gave me? It gave me something most people never fucking understand. And think about watching a movie where the hero keeps failing over and over and then they finally make it. How does that make you feel? It's like, damn, that's incredible. I became that fucking movie. I didn't just watch it, I lived it. Every time I watched Rocky get his ass kicked, I put myself in that spot. I imagined how it would feel to finally overcome all that failure and rise the fuck up. That's what failure gave me. Without the failure, you don't get that feeling. If you just breeze through shit and succeed without a struggle, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm good, but you ain't got the soul-shaking feeling that comes from fighting for it. The stuff that takes you months or even years to figure out. That's the gold. You keep going back, grinding, failing, going back to the drawing board, searching for those few seconds where everything clicks. When you finally figure out the equation, whatever that shit may be, and you conquer it, that's what I live for. But I can't get that without first embracing all the failures. I failed this, I failed that, but I'm getting closer. I'm figuring it out. And before you even reach success, you start feeling that fire. Then when you finally break through, the feeling is fucking unbelievable. And that success, born from all that failure, that goes straight into the cookie jar. You lock that shit up because you're gonna need it again down the road. You will call on it when life tries to break you, and you'll remind yourself you've been here before and you fucking conquered it. Back when I was in training, we had this dude with a fucking funky ass attitude, man. Every single day he'd roll in with that weak ass energy, and it was contagious. That shit spreads like a virus. He just wouldn't snap out of it, so I knew eventually there was gonna be an evolution that broke him. It was Wisconsin laying on this cold ass steel pier. San Diego wind ripping through you, water splashing over, treading in the water. It's miserable as fuck. And that's when it happens. He looks at me, says, "You wanna quit?" I didn't even have to think. I said, "Hell yes," but I wasn't quitting, nah. I wanted to see what he was made of. So we walk over to the bell, and sure enough, he rings that shit. Then he looks at me like I'm supposed to follow him. I said, "I'm good. I'm staying a little longer. Enjoy that civilian life, that's the thing, man. Attitudes are contagious. You got a bad one? Keep your weak ass at home. Don't bring that shit around the people trying to get hard." And that's where I first learned about taking souls. It's like in Rocky 1, round 14. Apollo's beating the hell out to Rocky, knocks him down hard. Mickey's in the corner screaming, "Stay down, stay down," but Rocky ain't listening to nobody. Apollo's already celebrating, thinking he finally took Rocky out. He turns around, hands in the air, like, "I got this," but Rocky's getting up. And when Apollo sees that shit, when he sees Rocky stand back up, that look on his face, it's like Rocky just took his soul. Rocky motions to him with his gloves like, "Come on, I'm still fucking here." That's what it means to take someone's soul. When they think you're done, think they've broken you, and you come back harder than ever, that's how you take their fucking soul. When I was breaking the Guinness World Record for pull-ups, 17 hours, 4,030 pull-ups, I listened to the same damn song for 17 hours straight. No breaks. That's the kind of focus I had. I wasn't out there trying to look cool, follow trends, or worry about what anyone thought. I had an image in my head of what the hardest motherfucker alive would look like, and I was going to become that. No fads, no trends. Just me doing what I knew I was meant to do. And here's the thing, people that criticize, they ain't got shit going on in their own lives. They spend all their time talking shit about you because they can't deal with their own mess. It's like that story. I had some family come over, they're sitting down eating breakfast, but where's Goggins? Out for a damn workout, of course. I come back from my run, and here come the jokes. Oh, let me guess, Goggins, you probably ran 100 miles this morning, all that sarcasm. But you know what? While they're sitting there talking shit, I'm out there grinding. Every morning I wake up and I get to see you still laying in bed, lazy as hell. That shit fuels me. I don't need your validation. I don't need your jokes. I just need to stay fucking hard. Man, people are fucking hilarious. They get so damn threatened, jealous, insecure, all that shit wrapped in one. When I was fat, lazy, insecure, struggling in school and life, everybody was all up in my ear, giving me advice, trying to help me out. But the second I flipped the script, lost that weight, got in shape, started busting my ass, they all changed. They didn't want to see me climbing. They didn't want to see me rise above their weak ass standards. That's what it comes down to, man. When you're sitting in your own mess, fat, lazy, and doing nothing, you make them feel better about themselves. But the moment you drag yourself up from the bottom of hell, those same people, they can't stand to see you succeed. It makes them look at their own reflection, and they don't like what the fuck they see. Stay hard, motherfucker. And let me tell you something else. Maybe it's April where you are. Maybe you're expecting nice weather. Well, guess what? It's 20 fucking degrees. Or maybe you're in some place where it's too damn hot. You got sore legs, sore back, sore shoulder. Yeah, welcome to the fucking club. This struggle, it's real as hell, and it never gets easier. You just got to get harder. Yesterday, I was out there pushing myself, had one of the best runs I've had in a long ass time. But guess what? No one gives a shit about what you did yesterday. It's all about what you're doing today. You want to stay stuck in your old victories? Fine, go ahead. But I'm here for the ones who want to level the fuck up, not stay the same. Stay hard. Look, I was haunted. We all got those voices in our head, the ones that keep us comfortable, keep us warm, telling us it's okay to take it easy. That voice that hands you fucking cookies and milk at night, tucking you in. That voice is soft, man, it's cozy. It's what you want to hear. And people don't like listening to me much because I'm that voice that tells you the shit you need to hear. That soft voice in my head had me sitting at 297 pounds fat, out of shape and a damn loser. It had me stuck, earning a measly $1,000 a month, making dumbass mistakes left and right. Because that's what happens on the easy road, man. You take that path, you fuck up, you get lazy, it's full of mistakes. But the hard road, that's a different story. It's so tough, you ain't gonna want to repeat it. So you learn from it. That's where the real growth happens. I remember back in the military, they put us through this project. They gave us a wheelbarrow with no wheel, a bunch of heavy ass cinder blocks, and some 2x4s. Told us to get that shit from point A to point B in one go. No shortcuts, no breaks. It forced us to get creative, to think different. And that's where the magic happens. You don't get that kind of lesson taking the easy route. You only get it when you embrace the suck and push yourself beyond what you thought was possible. When I came into this world, man, I was dealt a fucked up hand. Heart issues, lung issues, bone issues, everything was stacked against me. But guess what? I didn't sit there and whine about it. I had to get creative. A lot of you use your bullshit excuses to justify staying soft. You think because you don't have much to work with, that's your reason to stay preserved, like some fine china. Nah, motherfucker. Make sure when you die, you're used to fuck up. Find out what the hell you've got and squeeze every ounce of potential out of it. Stay hard. So a few weeks ago, I'm in the gym, grinding like I always do. This NBA player walks in with his trainer, and I'm watching them do the bare minimum. 12 reps. That's all you got. Then the trainer says, let's push it to 15. This guy gets an attitude. Right there, I knew why his ass was benched. That weak ass mentality will keep you on the sidelines forever. If you knew the kind of shit he was saying in that moment, you'd have shut your damn mouth. But it lit a fire in me. I couldn't stop thinking about it. That mindset, it's poison. I stayed in the gym for 2 hours longer, just grinding, fueled by that weak shit I saw. This ain't just about 3 extra reps, this is about life. You do the bare minimum in anything, and you're gonna stay stuck. Look, I've been through hell and back, and I came out with some hard-earned wisdom. I'm blessed to be here, but not because it was easy, it was a fight. I want to help people see they're way more than they think. Greatness isn't running 200 miles or doing 4,000 pull-ups or becoming a SEAL. Greatness is whatever the fuck you dream it to be. But here's the thing, man. You got to see it first. You got to create that vision inside your head before anyone else does. Most people these days crumble the second someone calls them out like you messed up or they get a little criticism. This generation is soft as hell. It's so damn easy to be great now because everyone else is weak. If you've got even an ounce of mental toughness or self-discipline, the ability to do shit when you don't feel like it, you're already ahead. Most people can't handle that. I hate running, and what makes me lose my mind even more is when people ask, well, why the hell do you run? If you hate it, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't want to take showers or eat either. I hate that shit too, but guess what? That's life, motherfucker. It wasn't until I changed that weak ass mentality that I became somebody. I hated going to school. So guess what? I was dumb as shit. That's what happens when you avoid the things you hate. But here's the truth. If you can push through the things you hate to do, on the other side of that is greatness. That's what people don't get about me running. I'm not out here just to train for some race. Fuck that. I'm callousing my mind. I'm training for life. I'm training for the moment when I get that 2 a.m. A phone call saying my mom's dead or when life throws some other tragic shit my way. I'm building myself up so I don't fall apart. I'm training my mind, my body, and my spirit to become one unit so I can handle whatever the fuck life decides to throw at me. Because from what I've lived, life's gonna throw a whole lot at you. And if you're not mentally and physically prepared, you'll crumble. You'll be good for nobody. So let me tell you about this one time. Me and my cousin were coming back from a party. My grandma told us not to go and to be home by a certain time. But of course we didn't listen. We were miles out of Brazil, Indiana, way out there. And when we didn't come home on time, she said, nobody's coming to get you, so you better walk your ass home. And man, that walk was a trek. 2 or 3 miles, no joke. We're out on this dark road and this truck passes by and the guys inside yell something at us. I've got a bomber jacket on and my cousin's rocking some Michael Jordan jersey or maybe a Lakers jacket. We keep walking and then the truck flips around and skids to a stop on the gravel. My cousin starts freaking out like, what the hell is happening? But here's the thing, my mentality was changing. I went from being this scared little kid to someone who just didn't give a fuck anymore. Mentally, I was becoming something else. These guys get out of the truck and one of them walks up and puts a gun right to my forehead. My cousin's trying to sneak off across the street, scared as hell but me. I just stood there. I looked right at that gun. They talked their shit. And I honestly thought that dude was gonna pull the trigger, but I didn't give a damn. Eventually, he got back in the truck and they took off. Never saw him again. Man, that moment, it didn't break me. It made me stay hard. Man, this weekend I had this QA and this dude rose up full of frustration, whining, saying, man, I've gained 20 pounds. I don't know where my purpose is. I can't find my why. I got no motivation. And hell, I can't even find a damn gym. So I cut him off right there and said, all right, shut the hell up for a second. You can't find your purpose, can't find motivation. Fine, but can you find your balls? Yeah, that's right. Once you locate those, I need you to grab them and squeeze tight. Then go find some damn shoes. You got shoes, right? Good. Now go walk. Hell, go run. As for the gym you can't seem to find, do you have a floor where you live? Good, get your ass down there and do some push-ups. Do some sit-ups. You don't need to wait for some magical why or purpose to fall into your lap. You start now. You don't wait for shit. When you finally figure out your purpose, you'll already be rolling. You'll already have momentum. Stop waiting for the stars to align and just fucking start. Stay hard. Here's the thing, man. Every fucking problem you have, that's your new target. You don't sit there and say, oh man, I've got all this shit wrong with me. I can't do it, bullshit. You focus on one damn thing at a time. That's how I did it. Back in the day, I knew I was dumb as F, but I wasn't gonna let that define me. I strategized, I broke that shit down. I couldn't learn like normal people, so I found my own way to handle it. I got a damn 1,000-page dive manual 18 months before I even went to dive school. Most people would have quit just seeing that thing, but not me. I knew I had to start early because I wasn't gonna rely on some half-ass effort. I wrote down each page over and over 10 fucking times if that's what it took, until it was burned into my brain. When test time came, I didn't need luck, I didn't need hope. I had fucking earned it. Page 71, done, burned in, I owned it. So listen, man, you got problems? Break them down. Stop crying about the whole mountain and focus on one rock at a time. Keep chipping away. And when you think you're done, guess what? There's another fucking rock. Keep going. Before you know it, you're at the top. But it's one step at a time. Stay hard, motherfucker, man. I don't fucking enjoy this shit. Never have. But it's fucking necessary. Every damn morning I wake up, it's not about just working out. It's about growing mentally. Working out has been my way of pushing my mind. Testing it every single day. And if I'm not doing that, if I'm not challenging myself, guess what? I'm dying. And that's where people don't get it. They think I must love this shit. Hell no. I was almost 300 pounds, twice in my life. You think a guy who lets himself get that big actually enjoys cardio? F no. But here's the real thing, man. The shit I don't enjoy, the stuff that makes me uncomfortable, that's where the growth is. Period. So every day I hit that uncomfortable zone, that place I hate, because that's the only place you're gonna grow. You gotta visit that motherfucker daily. I didn't learn this from the military. I learned it young on my own. I was a lazy, undisciplined piece of shit. Couldn't read, couldn't write, failed at damn near everything. Learning disabilities? Yeah, I had them all. But I knew if I didn't develop some kind of discipline, I was screwed for life. So I sat my ass down at that table and read, and I wrote. And I wrote, and I learned. It wasn't fast, it wasn't fun, but I showed up. That discipline I built up in study and carried over to everything else, especially working out. I started grinding around 16, and I realized I was at a 4th grade reading level. No way I was getting into the military unless I passed those tests, so I had to focus. I had no choice. That's where the hustle began. But here's the truth. I could never get over the damn hump. Every time I felt like I was getting somewhere, some little fucking windstorm would blow me right back to square one. I'd be like, why? I'm learning how to read. I'm a junior in high school, and I still can't read worth shit. I had been cheating all my life, faking it. But I taught myself how to read, how to write, all that stuff. I thought I had it figured out. But then when real shit hit the fan, that little storm would come and knock me right back down. That's when I realized I was fixing things on the surface. I was all surface level, man. My mind was still broken at the core. My fucking soul was broken. But here's the thing, I knew I could fix it. I was just too scared to face my demons. You know what happens when you start lying to yourself? You build a fake ass persona, hide who you really are. You start living a lie. And that's when I knew I'd never get over the hurdle until I went deep into the sewer of my mind, facing all that darkness. That's the hardest fucking thing you'll ever do. But if you don't do it, you'll live on the surface forever, showing people only what you want them to see. Social media loves that shit, right? You show off the highlights, post the perfect photos, and everyone thinks you've got it all figured out. But you know it's all fucking lie. I call this shit the rucksack effect in the military. We carry these heavy ass packs full of gear, food, radios, whatever. That's your rucksack. Civilians, they got their own rucksack too, but instead of gear, it's full of all the crap you've been through in life. All the pain, trauma, lies, you name it. Most people are dragging a heavy fucking pack with them every day and wondering why they can't get anywhere. You gotta unpack that shit, one piece at a time, and deal with it. That's how you get real. That's how you get hard. Stay fucking hard, man. Here's the hard fucking truth. No matter where you're at in life, whether your dad beat the shit out of you, you've got learning disabilities, stuttering, insecurities, self-doubt, all of it, you're carrying all that baggage. I get it. I've been there. I lied my ass off just to make friends. My whole fucking life was weighed down by this shit. But let me tell you something, nobody's coming back to save you. You've got to realize it starts with that person staring back at you in the mirror. That's the only one who can fix this. You're on your own now. Whatever you believe in, I don't give a damn. Here on earth, this is a lonely ass journey, man. It starts with looking in the accountability mirror and saying, yeah, my daddy fed me up. He's not coming back. None of that shit is coming back. You've got to own all of it. That pain, that trauma, it's yours now. The stuff people did to you, it's on you to fix that shit. I know it doesn't make sense. I know it's unfair as fuck. But life isn't fair. And if you live in that woe is me, bullshit, my dad did this, my mom did that, people bullied me, poor me, you'll stay right there, stuck in that hole forever. You have to find a way to push forward because nobody from your past is coming back to make it right. It's on you now. And it starts with that fucking mirror. That's why I call it the accountability mirror in my book. You face it, you own it,
You
and then
say
you fix it.
you can
No more
get
excuses.
a break.
Stay hard.
Man, forget that victim mentality you and support surprised to be give a break. Life doesn't hand out break like candy, you earn them. Every single one of us is getting tested any year your test and gonna look like mine, but make no mistake, you are getting tested too, and how you handle that test, that it means everything you want to success. You grant, you want to fail quite. It's that simple. Look, I will never be in the Olympics. I will never be some pro athletic. I fail at more things and I success in. But guys, what I fucking great every days. Grand every days, every damn minutes, most day. I don't want to do half the do, but I saw up. I grind, and one day when you see me in some drunk all lane at 1 a.m. running my ass off on no on think about this. I am out there fucking up. Grading that's what sleep winner from loser. That's what I call the 40% rules. Are means that it's got a technical ethics on use. It know our facts, no exciting way when to push the buttons that make us quiet. When that debut creeps in, when a mind say this isn't what it means, let's go home, back to comfort. That's